What does STA-1 authorization mean for Indo-Us defense partnership? Subscribe World Action and Reaction News, warn and press bell button for getting notification of all future updates. India and the United States recently upgraded their defense partnership. This was announced by U.S. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross at the Indo-Pacific Business Forum on the 30th of January. According to the Department of Commerce, India would be moved into Tier 1 of the Department of Commerce's Strategic Trade Authorization License exception. Simply put, this would allow India to receive sensitive technology and military items without the U.S. exporter having to go through the Commerce Department for a license. India has welcomed the move. Top diplomatic sources told CNBC-TV18 that this would provide for good integration of Indian defense component manufacturers with the U.S. supply chain. This is one of the most significant building blocks of our defense industrial partnership. Officials also believe that this would give a boost to the strategic partnerships model recently approved by the Indian Ministry of Defence. The strategic partnerships model aims to increase private sector participation in indigenous defense production. Sources also added that in matters of defense trade, U.S. has now brought India at par with NATO allies, Japan, and South Korea. India is only the third country in Asia to be included in the list. China, Pakistan, and Russia are not on the list, the source said. The development has definitely caused some discomfort to Pakistan. Reacting to the announcement, Pakistan's Foreign Ministry spokesperson said, "The move has serious implications." Pakistan calls on all states to carefully review their strategic export control policies that directly impinge on national security of Pakistan and undercut stated goals of preserving strategic stability in the region. CNBC-TV18 spoke to a range of experts to understand whether this can really help India. Richard Rosso, senior advisor at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, said, STA-1 status opens India to simpler importation of a fair range of products with strategic importance, including protection equipment like body armor and tear gas, materials related to nuclear power development, explosives detection and disposal. But the group of products that could be most significant are specialty materials controlled in the list. As India seeks to develop an indigenous defense manufacturing industry, being able to import equipment used in creating specialty alloys, lighter frames, minimizing radar visibility, and other such factors will be critical. Diplomatic sources have told CNBC-TV18 that the next step that India was working on was to finalize an industrial security annex with the U.S., which would allow U.S. companies to share sensitive technology information with Indian companies with a guarantee that it would not fall in the wrong hands. Experts point out that be it STA-1 authorization or a possible industrial security annex, a lot will depend on India's ability to fully utilize these agreements. Dhruva J. Shankar, Foreign Policy Fellow at Brookings India, says, for many years, the biggest constraint on India-U.S. military-industrial cooperation was U.S. export control policy, which was a combination of international regimes, U.S. law, and U.S. regulation. These have gradually been amended, and India has been increasingly accommodated. However, moving forward, India will have to find ways to better absorb new technologies that are now available to it. Such steps will have to include, among other things, creating greater incentives for investment, ensuring that imported technology is secure and not leaked to third parties, and better integration into global supply chains. Until these steps take place, India may not be able to take full advantage of a number of opportunities for technology transfer that have now become available, including the new STA designation or the possibility of a suitable arrangement concerning the Industrial Security Annex. Manoj Joshi, distinguished fellow at Observer Research Foundation, pointed out the challenges including the poor state of Indian defense production. The STA-1 authorization will definitely make trade easier, but we must have a certain velocity of trade to take advantage. We should have a strategy in place for this, and it must be linked to our own domestic efforts. Recently, a parliamentary panel had expressed worry that India's defense expenditure at 1.56% of the GDP was the lowest since 1962, when the Indo-China War took place. Not only did the panel strongly urge the government to allocate adequate resources for defense preparedness, but also called for a major overhaul of the DRDO, which is the premier defense research institute of the country. The panel noted that the strategic partnership model did not specify a clear role for major defense public sector undertakings. Defense is a highly sensitive area, and utmost care needs to be taken to maintain confidentiality/secrecy about our data/technology/capabilities. While taking steps to liberalize FDI and private sector partnership, the committee would like the government to take all requisite precautions to ensure our defense capabilities are not compromised at any cost. Finally, we have to keep in mind that behind India's inclusion into this elite list is a clear America First approach. It was announced as part of a set of measures to increase United States engagement with Indo-Pacific, and while announcing the STA-1 authorization for India, Wilbur Ross said, India's new status will benefit U.S. manufacturers while continuing to protect our national security.
Thanks for watching. I hope you like this news. Please share your views in comment box. Please like and share this video. Press subscribe button and bell for auto update to you regarding my channel World Action and Reaction News. Warn.